Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline time now for conversations with the NHT. I'm joined in studio by Miss Danielle Edwards, Senior Corporate Public Affairs Coordinator with the Trust. Morning to you, Danielle.
Morning, Mrs. Shields. How are you?
Very well, and you?
I'm good.
Good.
And I love that you said Danielle.
Yes.
Yes.
Not that.
Not that, Danielle.
Daniel was a good man too, you know. The Bible. Where they come from?
You did, man.
Deo. Yeah. Daniel. Pauline Clark is Compliance Manager with the Trust. How are you, Miss Clark?
I am fine, thank you.
Good
And
to see you. Very, very well, thank you. Daniel,
Yes.
you're going to tell me what is this thing that Mrs. Fuller and Mrs. Broderick told us about?
I must
Right,
tell
Broderick?
you.
Yeah. What is this?
I
Clock
think
that tea.
I think you're going to have to ask them. I have no idea.
But we
I
cannot
have
do this
no
one until I understand what
idea.
is clock that tea.
Clock that tea.
What is it, Miss Clark?
No
Are they
idea.
telling me to be quiet? That's what clock that tea means? Oh. Let me move on. When me find out, me I'm going to tell you, Daniel.
Please do.
Them know better not to ask me those questions, you know. And I'm not going to Google it. Clock that tea. All right. What are we talking about today, Daniel?
So we are talking about our employers amnesty program, which ends on May 31st. But before we jump into that, we just wanna, just quickly do a recap of what we talked about last week, because there was quite a bit of buzz about it. Yeah, man. Persons were asking about it,
And the question from my caller there.
no,
Wicked.
we said
If you can't will it.
it was deadly. It was deadly.
Deadly, I love
Deadly.
Yes.
But we just want to remind our listeners, if you do have a child, you own a home, and you have a child that wants to pursue home ownership, you can give that child a head start with our parent assist facility, whether that's an NHT scheme solution or something on the open market. And the great thing about this facility is a win-win, because the loan and the repayment is pegged to the child. That means that, unlike the traditional loan facilities, you don't have to worry about repayment as mommy and daddy, and the child is younger, which means that it's a longer time to repay, which means that it is smaller repayments, which it makes it more affordable. And so, as I said, we're going to get right into this program because it's quite a bit to cover. As you would have been aware that we had an employers amnesty program running that should have ended on March 31, but in true Jamaican fashion,
Minister
we wait till
extended.
drum beat before we grind with axe. We're very last minute in this. I know that. I don't know
Like
about
full
clock.
dome,
You
man.
know them proverbs.
Yeah,
them.
we
You know
don't
about
clock it.
clock it.
Yeah.
Right. And so right up to the 9th hour, persons were calling in asking us to extend the program. And because we are always listening to the contributors that we serve, we decided to extend it to May 31 because we really wanted to give them an opportunity. I'm sure Pauline will go into details to apply, because, as we said before, micro, small and medium enterprises and charitable institutions are the backbone of our economy. They contribute to maybe about 97%, over 97% of the tax-paying businesses, and they're responsible for a majority of the employment in Jamaica. So we have the formidable Pauline Clark here this morning, one of our compliance managers. She's going to give us a refresher course. We've talked about it already, but she's just going to give us a refresher course about the program, the objectives, eligibility criteria, number of organizations that have benefited, because quite a bit have benefited, and any tips to assist with the application process, because the deadline coming up and we don't want you to be applying and you make mistakes that delay the process, because we're not having any more extension after May. So that's it. So Pauline, and any tips that can help these persons to become more regularized, so we don't have to have an amnesty again maybe in the future.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So the Employers Arrears Amnesty Program is a program that is designed to give micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, that's the MSEs, and the charitable organizations with outstanding contributions, an opportunity to normalize their contribution status with the NHT. Now, these MSMEs and the charitable organizations must have at least an annual turnover of $425 million and they must have no more than 50 employees.
They must have less than 425 million turnover.
Yes,
Less than.
and less than 50
I
employees.
mean, I like at least right now. But we will take less than.
Right.
So
And-
between 0 and 425 million, you'd qualify for.
That's correct.
And if you have 50 or less employees. Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, yes.
Now, these employers must, to benefit, they must also file all their annual returns. So they would have to file all their annual returns up to 2024, and they would and pay the contributions, and they should also file their SO1s up to April 2025, and they must pay all the contributions. Having done that, they will be able to benefit from 100% interest waiver. So once these employers satisfy these requirements, they will be able to benefit from this. Now, persons may apply using the NHT's website at www.nht.gov.jm, or they may email compliance mailbox at nht.gov.jm.
Yes.
And we're happy to tell you that the number of organizations that have benefited so far is 478.
478 organizations, and these have between 1 and 50 employees. So many more people benefited, just the organizations you're giving me.
No, that's the total applications that
Yes.
have been approved.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You wanted to say something, Danielle?
No, I'm just agreeing because
Yeah.
it really shows that persons are willing to comply, and they just need the opportunity to do it, and that is what we at the NHT do. No, so I was just nodding to also, every time I hear the number,
Yes.
it's such a it's great. It's great.
Yes.
And so we have a number of days left. So we are encouraging our employers to submit these applications by the 31st of May.
Right. And know when we first spoke about this, when the original deadline was the 31st of March, NHT had a tiered system.
Yes.
Depending on when you applied, then different discounts were given. But now the one that goes up to May, is there a tiered system, or is just all penalties and so forth?
No tiered system.
Jesus.
No tiered system. So once persons can get the waiver of interest up to March 30, 2025. And it will be 100% waiver.
Wow. So what about those who applied when the tiered system operated? I remember, firstly, you had all contributions settled by September 30, 2024. NHT waived all penalty. Is penalty and interest?
Interest.
Just interest on
Yes.
employee and employer contributions, as well as you offered a 20% discount on outstanding employer contributions. But if you applied after September 30 and between October 1 and December 31 of last year, then the waiver was slightly different from the one up to September 30. What about those who fall in the after September application? Are those completely removed now? Am I giving everybody the same thing?
Everybody will be getting the same thing. So if those persons had applied up to that point and they now have interest, let's say for January to March, they can submit their application and they would get the waiver of 100% for example, the period January to March 2025.
Nice. And then the 478 organizations you told me about who already benefited, do you communicate with them by way of a letter when they have successfully applied and successfully been approved for the waiver?
They all will be receiving letters.
Right. Excellent. So between now and then, just tell us how it is done. I know you told us about the website. I know you told us about the email, but is it a difficult process for the employers to do, Miss Clark?
Okay, so the application form, it is fairly straightforward. And when they send them in, our compliance inspectors, they have a keen eye. So what they will do, they will look at those applications, and if it's incomplete or if they require additional information, they will reach out to those employers, because the form has the name of a representative and a contact number. So they will just reach out to them.
Right. What if come the 31st of May, as night follows day, you're going to have a rush? But what if somebody's form is not properly completed and midnight, a second after midnight comes now, January, February, March, April, May, June, 1st of June? Is it that you're going to reject that application, or can corrections be made after the form has been submitted?
Well, if the form has been submitted, and as I said, we have not had many mistakes on them, we would contact the person, because it would, let's say, and the person that satisfied all those requirements, then we will just contact that person and they would benefit, because they would have submitted their form. The important thing is that they would have met the requirements.
Yes.
So once they have met the requirements,
yes,
we will accept the application.
Yes, good news, listeners. You have a little bit of time to go for this application to the National Housing Trust. We'll open a break. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls on this and other matters.
Youth in
And if you have annual earnings of between $1 and $425 million, and you are in arrears with your NHT payments to the National Housing Trust, then you can apply for this amnesty and you get the penalties and so forth written off. You just have to pay the principal. Boy, even the principal, Miss Clark, what if when you crunch the principal, it is so much and you can't make the payment before the 31st of May? Can we make arrangements with the trust for a payment plan and still benefit under the amnesty?
No,
Lord
they won't
Jesus.
be able to benefit. So if to benefit, you must make all the contribution payments by the 31st. Then you will be able to benefit.
No, I think I need to reconsider that part and say to people, we can give you a payment plan if you keep up to date and make the payment of the arrears in tranches to be agreed by a certain time. Then you can benefit, because sometimes it's millions that people have to pay.
No, I'm sorry. They won't be able to benefit.
Gotcha.
However, subsequent to that, we can enter into a payment arrangement with them.
No, but
to
the
have
payment
them pay.
arrangement, the penalty will be included.
That's correct.
Miss Clark, you know about the grace of God? NHT, who is the head of NHT? You know that we don't merit God's love and God's forgiveness, and Him forgive us every single time.
But can I tell you that even before the amnesty, that is why we implore persons, because for an amnesty, usually for an amnesty, because we are crediting so much, and Pauline, not telling you here, and I'm not going to tell you, but the amount that we credit just for the principal, disregarding the interest, it's I don't even want to say the number. It's in the billions. Let me just put it at
Yes,
that. It's in the billions. And so, and because, and these entities know. And so we have to draw a line in the sand. We have to draw a line in the sand. So that is why we say don't wait until an amnesty. If you're having difficulty, have a conversation. We are anybody will tell you we are more than accessible and more than willing
Yes, I know
to
that
engage
you are.
and work with you.
But the issue as well is that the person who is in arrear for NHT
Right.
is most times in arrear for income tax, for education and all of those. And to make all of those payments, it's not bad people, bad employers that don't pay. Sometimes it is that difficult. And when you look at how much you have to find by the 31st of May, it's sometimes millions. So whoever is responsible, I'm putting it out for you to consider making the contributor benefit, but say to the employer, even though you can't make the payment by March the 31st of May. We are giving you until the end of the year in 6 tranches to make those payments and keep up with the payments going for. I'm putting it out there, Daniel. Just like how I put out Granny Assist last week, I'm putting it out there because what you really want is to get the money. That is,
but more than just the money, because we have to, and that is why, as I said, we don't want to be in this position, because when you do that, and Pauline can say something, you're affecting. We now have a facility in place where the contributions, if you don't pay, we don't allow that to affect the employee's ability to access our housing benefit.
Yes.
But we are saying that what you're doing is illegal.
Yes.
Right? And so you have to keep up with your payments under the amnesty. This is what we have. Maybe when we have another amnesty come around, we'll probably revisit some of that. But trust me when I tell you, what we're writing off is mega. And so for the principal, you have to give some to get some, and you have to pay over the contributions.
Yes.
So, because that is your legal requirement, right? So you have to pay over the contributions within that time so you can become regularized.
And also to add that, remember, this amnesty has been going on since last year. We also have to take into consideration
July?
And we also have to take into consideration that the contributors need also to apply for their refund. So we cannot allow persons to continue owing and not paying.
Okay. So I suppose, DT, if you can keep up with the Kardashians, you can keep up with your payment. 876-9262 926-8631 92676. You know about them, Daniel? 888-99120. It's time for keeping up. 2178. Who do we have here? Hello, morning.
Hi, good morning to you on the panel, Miss Sheila.
Good. Who is this?
Leon. Just call me Leon.
Yes, welcome. We have Daniel here, and we have Miss Pauline Clark. Yeah.
Hi, Miss Pauline Clark. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have an issue with the NHT. I've been working so long, and I finally in a job here now where I pay over wage, and I go up there to try to get a home to purchase, and they tell me that what they are telling me I'm overqualified, and they tell me that I have to go to the bank. But the situation is this: the bank is not giving no loan to where I live. So they do not give him loan for purchase home down that side. So I don't know what the situation is with NHT. I've been throwing my contribution all from I can remember. And now I finally a place and work in a job where I can, take care of my family, my wife and my children them. And they tell me that I'm overqualified. I have to go to the bank, so I don't know what the situation is. So I don't know if you highlight me from what's going on.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Can you remind me of your name so I can address you?
Leon, Leon.
All right, Leon. All right.
Yes.
So, if you are earning over 30,
Stop reversing or put on your seatbelt, Leon. Close the door. There's a lot of air coming in on the mouthpiece as well.
And the AC.
Yes, step up in a live. Listen to Daniel.
No, I work with that.
Yes, listen.
working the same card for the work. All right, Leon. So,
yes.
Currently, if you are earning over $30,000 or more per week, then under our external finance, earning more than $30,099, let me make that clarification, per week, you are required to go through an external finance mortgage partner. I'm not sure, I can't speak on behalf of the mortgage partner, but I highly doubt, based on what I know from mortgage processing, that the issue is where you reside, because these institutions have certain criteria that you must satisfy. So I doubt it's the area that you live. Maybe you need to satisfy a document, or maybe there is something that is missing from your application that you need to satisfy. But what I can say, though, for the NHT's part, if you are experiencing any difficulty with the partner institution, we encourage you to come back to us.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So right. So I don't know what they told you. Highly doubt is the area because I know that mortgage financing is, right across the board. There is no discrimination.
Right.
Once you meet their criteria. But if you as a contributor, we tell all our contributors are experiencing any issue with any of the mortgage financing partners, you come and have a conversation with us. Not sure where you are. What parish are you, Leon?
No, I'm from Kingston.
Kingston. Right. So come into our Kingston branch. As a matter of fact, when you come to the branch,
yes,
you can ask for me, and then I will get you in touch with the relevant branch personnel.
Remind me of your name again.
Daniel.
Yes, in Daniel. In the meantime, Leon, you leave your contact so she can just see what you have from the other company to make sure that what you say.
No, the thing is this, I just called them because they give me 4 institutions.
Okay, hold on. Hold on,
then,
Leon. We'll take your number.
Call them.
Yeah, you only called them. You didn't go in.
Call them.
He's a caller. Hold on, Leon. Let's take your details so that we can see how you get some help. Yes, because when a man wants to get a house for him, wife and children, that we have to help out too. 7615. Morning. Who is this?
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Mrs. Shields.
Morning. Who is this?
This is Carlton.
Eh?
Carlton.
Yes. Welcome. Daniel's listening, and so to Miss Clark.
Yeah.
What's your question, Carlton?
It's a question and answer you have there now.
Yes, we're talking about NHT.
No, man, me have to call you back. Me never realize.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Call back. It's Conversations with the NHT, 876-926-2178. Nobody can be overqualified for an NHT loan?
No, I think no. So what he's saying is that because he's making more than 30,099, we had directed him weekly. We directed him to go through the external financing mortgage partner. And so that's why he was saying he was turned back because of where he resided. So I said that based on what I know from mortgage processing, there is no discrimination with where you reside. There may be some criteria for them that you were not satisfied. Maybe the land, maybe, you never had the certain documentation and you just made a call. So I'm not sure what was told to him.
Yeah,
but
we'll find out.
If you have an issue, you come to us and we'll guide you.
All right, let me take this last call. Hello, morning. 7615. Morning. Who is this?
This is Tom.
Tom, welcome. Quickly with your question.
The solar loan or the whatever the NHT give out. You can just start and really let me hear how it goes because I am a contributor. I already got a house to NHT. So, but I wanted to get the solar.
Okay.
Or the grant.
Smart energy. Quickly, we have 30 seconds.
All right. So, Tom, we have the Smart Energy Loan and Smart Energy Grant, or Smart Energy Grant is reserved for our pensioners, and come July 1, private sector pensioners will be able to benefit. But for the Smart Energy Loan, you'll be able to access, and I'm going to give you a July 1 criteria, up to 2.5 million to outfit your property with renewable technology, whether that's rain harvesting, solar, wind, whatever it is that meets your need. The interest rate is also 0 to 5%. It's pegged to your income, and you have a period of up to 10 years to repay.
Okay,
or
good.
Up to 70, whichever comes first.
So, Tom, get in touch. Something's on the line for you, Daniel. I'm out of time. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure.
My pleasure too. Senior Corporate Public Affairs Coordinator with the Trust, Miss Pauline Clark. Good having you in studio.
Thank you.
Compliance Manager with the NHT. That's Conversations with the NHT headlines time.
You're listening to Radio Jamaica 94 FM. The time is now 10 o'clock.